Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 500th episode of Inside the Force. I can't even believe I'm actually saying that. It has been since March of 2013 since we started this show. And as I was thinking about what to do over the last few months and how to build this up and just in my head how to do this, I wanted to get voices from the past, the present, the future of what this show is going to be. And thankfully, everybody was willing to come back and join me for this just milestone, huge milestone for us on the show. So I can't even believe it, but it's incredible that we made this work and got together. So I'm going to introduce everybody one by one here. And first up is the guy that started this thing with me, so now 13 years ago. He's getting to be an old man himself. Cory, how are you, brother?
Oh my gosh, hello there. I'm doing great. Yeah, I was just looking at the last episode of that I was on about 5 years ago, and then just trying to do a comparison of this, and it was just definitely aged a little bit, but I'm doing well.
Well, we sound the same, so
Yeah.
we sound the same so far, so it's all good. But then, of course, as we've gone on, and I've known him just as long, and he's been a major contributor to this show. But his brother, Master Cory Cooley, is also here in the dark, but he's here.
Darkness. Yes.
How are you, man?
In the dark, but I'm full of light. This is an amazing milestone. So many good moments, memories, all the above. It's been amazing. I've been happy to be a part of it. It's wild. This is wild.
Yeah. And I'm surprised I didn't get a text from you from the mall finale, so I know you haven't seen it. So
I have not.
We'll refrain from talking about that on this hour. And then, of course, as life happens and people, have other things to get to, I did have a co-host that filled in a lot with me, and I'm so glad he's able to come back and join us again. But Cody Geiler, how are you, sir?
Somehow I have returned. Dark science, cloning, secrets only the Sith knew.
The voice from beyond, yes. I love it.
Man, 500
Cody,
episodes. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, Cody, Cody did a lot of, obviously came on and did a lot of council sessions with me as well, which we'll talk about as well. But so these guys have been there from the beginning and throughout. And then, of course, my current co-host, as always, these last few years, Hannah Burr. How are you, Hannah?
I am doing well. This number 500 episode. How are you all doing? It's been a while since I've seen a lot of you, actually. So this is really, really cool.
Yeah, this is amazing because obviously, besides Cory, like all of us actually worked at the same company pretty much at the same time, I think, right? We were at the same, we were all there at the same time. And everybody has kind of gone their own way. And I know everybody's still obviously big, massive Star Wars fans because I know we still talk about it here and there and text each other and stuff like that. So, look, I think on this episode, for one, I just got to start off and again say thank you to you guys, especially for just all that you've helped do for this show. I mean, I remember 13 years or even 14 years ago almost 14 years ago when Disney bought, Lucasfilm, we just knew we were going to get more stuff. And I remember Casey and I just sitting around thinking like, God, we talk about Star Wars all the time. Why don't we just do it on a podcast? Right. So, we were in the middle of doing some production stuff and other podcast shows. But this was the one that I was extremely passionate about. And I know Casey was, and we did it weekly, just all the time, and put it out regularly. And one thing I'm incredibly, two things. One thing I'm incredibly happy that we're doing this on. It is Star Wars Day. So happy May the 4th to everybody, of course.
Metaphor.
May the
Yes.
Always.
But one thing that's crazy that I was thinking back about this is we have had the exact same opening to the show since the very first episode. We had our buddy, I know a lot of you know, and Mike Friedman did the voice for us. And Casey and I wrote this thing to be evergreen for one, because I didn't ever really want to change it. And it's funny because it just says basically two exceptional geeks, so it's always two geeks somewhere, doing this thing.
No
But
more or less.
I got to acknowledge that Mike Friedman, I think you guys know, he retired. He's kind of, doing his own thing now. And he's actually acting in a lot of stuff now. But Star Wars Day is his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
happy
did
birthday,
not know
Mike.
that.
Happy birthday.
Well, I do want
Yes.
to say that's high praise, Dave. I appreciate that, but I think we could all say we appreciate you, man, keeping it going.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, a lot of work you put into this is phenomenal. So, round of applause to everybody, especially
Yes.
David.
Yes. Okay, so I really want to just kind of keep this more of a just kind of almost like a nostalgic kind of episode where we just talk about fondest memories, Star Wars, how it's doing in our lives right now. I mean, I know a lot of people can watch some things, can't watch some things. I know Hannah and we've been trying to catch up on the books and stuff like that, but it's there's a lot going on, obviously, but one thing I wanted to really hit on, and I know Hannah has yet to experience this, but our time at Star Wars Celebration, I know we've gone together several times. I got to remind everybody, in a couple days, Star Wars Celebration tickets go on sale for next year. Star Wars California, Los Angeles. And Hannah's heard me several times talk about our fondest memories of and how much I push Star Wars Celebration. Is such a incredible time. I was just telling my daughter Sam, Casey, about the time we camped out for Lucas, and because she said, "Hey, James Arnold Taylor is coming to LexCon in September." I was like, "Well, I met him," and I told her the whole story about those guys coming down and meeting us. I don't know. So Case, I'll start with you first. What's some of your classic Star Wars Celebration thoughts?
That was always a huge one because just the whole experience of just having to camp out. I mean, the whole thing of to line up for it was a mad rush. That was pretty awesome night, and then just stay up all night and falling asleep, waking up several times, and at one point waking up and seeing those voice actors, because it was James Arnold Taylor, Tom Kane was he one there? Was it
and
D.
D.
Bradley
Bradley
Baker?
Baker.
They were all they brought pizzas over or something. Is that right? Is that and just how awesome that moment was, and then obviously the payoff of camping out, going to see George Lucas was pretty cool. Anytime Lucas made an appearance, that was always a highlight. Like there was that other celebration where he made a surprise appearance at some panels, and I stood up and just screamed like as everyone else did. But that was always like, obviously seeing the exclusive things, seeing the celebrities is always fun, but it is just a wonderful environment to just immerse yourself in, because you're with people who are exactly like you, and you are just living your best dreams, surrounded by everything that has basically created the person that you are. Everything that is Star Wars and everything that's taught you, everything that's made you to be, and here you are just kind of living in that moment for a long time, and just that's always a blast. Miss doing our show live.
Yeah,
we did that a couple times there. That was always a blast, and then having you guys there, staying again, like the waiting. It's like playing Destiny, playing TCG, playing all these games. Like it was just always incredible community experience.
it was. Yeah, and Cody, I know I think you went to Chicago, I think, right, with us. All of us went up there.
Orlando And Chicago, yeah.
Oh, Orlando too. That's right. Yes. Yeah, you went down in the rented van, right? That we had that big.
The van that had the screens in it, and we played Star Wars movies on the drive down.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember most, Cody, with you is because when we went to Chicago. I will never. To me, this might be actually my fondest or my best memory of the celebration when we were in the room when they played the teaser for The Rise of Skywalker. And
right.
you remember that? There was like that whole, it was like thousands of people.
Standing
in there.
room only. Yeah.
Standing room only. Everybody's quiet watching this thing. And I don't know if you remember, but they took official photos and you can see some of it. And there was one of Cody where he's like, got his hand up in his, like, what?
Yeah.
I will always remember that.
I was either crying because they just showed Carrie Fisher again as Princess Leia, or just sheer exhaustion because we probably stayed up, waited in line, got up early in the morning to try to go get like a new Star Wars book. Maybe it was like a Master and Apprentice book or something. So it was maybe a combination of the hanging out, staying up late, but yeah, just that moment being there with everybody, seeing new Star Wars footage. But yeah, it's amazing. But the time we spent together, it was like the night before the teaser is what I feel like I remember more, because I think we walked out of the convention and we just started talking about, what could be in the teaser and just our, different Star Wars, hopes and dreams. And somebody called the shot of Palpatine coming back. I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Casey or if it was you, Cory, but we were talking about like Dark Empire comic, and then next day we all roll in there and then we watch it. And,
That's right.
I was thinking of that like then after we saw the trailer, I think I bought that comic and so we can read it and then talk more about it that night and like dissect it.
That's right.
That was a lot of fun.
And then Cory, you went to a couple too.
I think the same two. I think the same two. Cody, went to. I'm glad you all went first because it's like, obviously the feeling lingers, but like some of those details escape. I mean, the first one that I'll always remember. I'm pretty sure I was sitting next to Casey. You mentioned it. So in a panel, and out comes George Lucas, and we're like two, little kids again, and we just I remember just grabbing him as hard. We both grabbed each other as hard as we could. Like we were like screaming, like because it was like he just walks out. It was awesome. But yeah, that night before, and then that trailer. Yeah, I just remember, it's just Rise. Like it was like and feeling that and seeing that just it gives me chills thinking about it, because as I've said numerous times, like my favorites are like the bad guys. And a lot of those guys, it's like you don't like, they die, especially Maul. It's like, he's my favorite of all time. He's dead. Like, it's like, oh, great. I do think.
But he's not.
He is not. And then that's a whole other conversation. The new Maul stuff. I mean, it is just awesome. I mean, we're seeing just walking down the hall.
Yes.
And then like, that's Sam Witwer right there. And like he just walks by, stops, and just talks to us.
Yes.
And like the feeling that you can see anybody at any time. It's like that feeling like when you're like in a big city airport. You're like, yeah, that's Tony Shalhoub right there. I know that. I know that for a fact. That's Tony Shalhoub. But like seeing people, it was and then the live podcasts. Yes, I mean I'm just going to mimic a lot of what I feel like Casey was saying. Imagine that we're kind of the same. But that van riding down there, I mean, it was like all go. I remember waking up early. I think we went and maybe found some coffee, and we got down there really early.
We went into it was the 40th anniversary panel that we went into right away.
Right. And then another time that actually I've seen clips on TikTok every now and then it comes across when they interviewed oh gosh, this is bad to do this on May the 4th. God dang it, Darth Vader. Hayden.
James Earl
Hayden
Jones?
Christensen.
Oh, Hayden.
Hayden Christensen. I was going to say Christensen. Hayden Christensen. When he's sitting up there and he like gets choked up and like they're asking him what it felt like, and then he gets choked up and we're all like, like, you know, getting choked up too. But yeah, the grown men crying. A lot of grown men crying
is,
for
it
sure.
is.
But that trailer was huge, and it's just an exciting time, man. Like Casey said, I mean, you know, being surrounded by like-minded people, and that TCG game, man. Like that came up not too long ago. I can't remember who I was talking to. Maybe it could have been you, Dave, but you know, that it's nothing beats that. Like those late nights staying up, and then like we've been making our own cards.
I know.
Like that was so cool.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, and I know you guys. I don't know how many you guys have been to. I've technically since the third one, which was the first one I went to, I haven't missed one except the one that was right out of COVID, and then of course it's been overseas the last couple years, and it's been 6 years now that it's been in the States. So 50th anniversary is going to be a big one. Now, Hannah, I know you haven't gone, and I know I'm going to get you there next year, but it is, a little bit of a segue into actually today, Star Wars Day. Now, Hannah works for the brand now, obviously. Anything special happen today? What did you do today?
Well, today was a work day, so I did a lot of work. But from what I see on social media, Hollywood Studios was packed.
I saw some of those clips.
Packed. So actually tomorrow night on Revenge of the Fifth, if you like Revenge of the Sith or Fifth, whatever you want to pick, I'm actually going with my sister. And we're going to be exploring. There are a couple of new drinks. I think there's a new popcorn bucket to see. So we're going to explore it then. But today, just looking on social media, and I knew it was going to be super crowded, so I didn't even want to deal with that today. I wouldn't have made it in time to film this because traffic in ridiculous. But it was kind of a relaxful day. It was enjoying the season finale of Maul. It was reminiscing over Star Wars weekends. While you all had Celebration, I had Star Wars weekends growing up. So
I think Casey did too. Didn't you do that a lot, Case?
I did it a couple of times. I remember doing that a couple of times. I think I did before even might have been before my first Celebration, but
yes.
Star Wars weekends were the best.
Yeah. It was a good time to
because Casey used to go. Casey went. You went with the friend's family down to Disney a few times, right?
Yes, I that was most of the time I went to Disney. It was pretty much always with with my buddies, and it was usually either spring break or summer, which is pretty much when they did Star Wars weekends. But it was like the first time I went there, like, oh, that's Tamar Morrison. Like, what the heck? They're this close. Like, this is weird. So it's pretty wild.
So, but like the fact that they also, I think what was so beautiful about Star Wars weekends is they didn't time the celebrities they brought in. They could spend as much time as they wanted with you. And of course they saw the line. They knew they had to keep the line going. But like Tamara Morrison, Warwick Davis, they would just talk to whoever was there to listen to them. Even Matthew Stover, the author of Revenge of the Sith novelization, he also would just talk to you if you wanted to sit and talk with them. So so as you know, Casey, Star Wars weekends was something very, very special before it went away.
Yeah. I mean, because I think James Earl Taylor hosted a lot of those, and I listened to his podcast a little bit, and he's like so attached to that. Like it's awesome seeing from their side like how passionate they are as well. And because he also on his podcast would talk about that story, Dave, about coming down to what we experienced. Like he also, that was like a big moment for him too, from his perspective, like him in his hotel room with the other voice actors, like, hey, what do they do? Let's go down there and talk to him. And it's just a wonderful community to be a part of.
It is.
Yeah, Celebration, I mean, I think that's it definitely, I keep saying it, but I think part of the attraction to it too is it isn't every year. And it makes it a rarity to get there, and it just, I feel like they want you to plan it and, make sure that you can get there. So Star Wars Day, anybody, Cody, did you do anything special today?
Today was a work day. I, of course, listened to Star Wars music in my office, played it loud enough for everybody to hear. I've become, I guess, kind of the resident, Star Wars guy where I work. So everybody's, coming up and telling me, Happy Star Wars Day or May the 4th.
That's always an honor, man. That's
Yeah.
I think maybe every one of us at one point could have been oh, he's the Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I had a soccer practice with the kids. A couple of the kids had Star Wars shirts on. I'm like, okay, you're being raised right,
You're cool. You're cool.
But yeah, did a little lightsaber fight with the kids yesterday because I knew they'd kind of be at school, we'd be at work, so we got all the sabers that we got at Sabi's workshop out and just went to town. Found out that my daughter she's got a little dark side in her. She's small, but you got to watch out for her.
Excellent.
Oh,
we need more on our team.
Yeah, I as you guys know, sometimes I would bring in Dough Daddy's donuts. So I didn't. Usually, what happens is my wife Brooke makes something usually she makes these the pretzel rods, and she does the
dippage,
the red chocolate or blue chocolate, but I forgot to get those at the store and get them to make them. But so I didn't have anything. So unfortunately, all I had to get was donuts. But I wrote on the box, Happy Star Wars Day on the box. And when you open it, it said, May the 4th be with you. So everybody had a thrill with that today. But yeah, Star Wars, obviously for me, my kids are getting older now. I mean, I can't believe I have a 16 and 11, about to be a 12-year-old. And, they're really, at least my oldest now is really into, following the storylines. Because, as a kid, you're kind of just watching because it looks cool. But she's really into the storyline. She's loving the Maul series. Obviously, she loved the Ahsoka series. She's rewatching Clone Wars right now. Go back and watch Ahsoka and Maul and all that. So she's I mean, you understand, she is dying to go to Celebration next year. Cannot wait. So I'm going to definitely take her because she hasn't seen anything. She went to LexCon, this past year.
Good warm up.
Yeah. Well, I said there's nothing like LexCon.
Yeah.
I mean, you are completely surrounded by Star Wars fans, and it's something else. It's indescribable. You have to just experience it. But I think my youngest is getting. I don't know if she's into it as much. She loves Chewbacca. She always will love Chewbacca. But she doesn't talk about it as much as my oldest does. So it's interesting but I want to get to the whole kids thing a little bit later. But Star Wars Day, I thought this was interesting because I wanted to get your all's thoughts on this because I saw a little post come out today that said the top the most viewed it's the most streamed Star Wars titles today, May the 4th. Top 10, because it's obviously there's a catch here of why this was so relevant. So I'll just real quick off the top, one by one. Casey, what do you think is the most streamed title today? What was the most streamed title? It could be either movie, or it's either listed as a movie or one of the series.
Stream, they're counting just views of May 4th, or
views that happened today. Yeah, going just today.
Oh gosh.
What did people go to the most and watch today?
Is this 2025 or 2026? Is this from last year?
Oh, sorry. This was last year. Sorry, this is last year.
Okay.
2025.
Okay. That does change. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. This is 2025.
Oh gosh. Last year I would guess maybe Acolyte. I can't. I'm trying to place my timeline now. Acolyte, maybe.
I will say Acolyte's not even in the top 10.
Oh wow. So
Well,
that must have
Acolyte
been
was
older.
even Acolyte even out yet? I think it may have just
a
started.
year ago.
Yeah, I think
I thought it was
Acolyte was during the
Overshoot.
summer. Was it?
Well, I'm way off, so I'm not even in the game right now.
Well, okay, get another guess. Another guess.
Another guess. Okay. Then most streamed Star Wars title.
Like what would you have picked? What would you have picked?
Probably
if you just
probably Mandalorian, or I mean,
Okay.
if it was this show, I would have said Maul, but I'll say Mandalorian.
okay, Cody.
Is this the Variety article? Because I saw it. I don't want to cheat.
Cheater!
Kill him.
Is that what you're referencing?
I have no idea. I just saw a picture of it.
Okay. Well, I kind of forget what I saw, but I would have guessed like Rogue One.
Okay.
Oh, you forgot what you forgot what you saw.
Well, he's not wrong. He's not right. So Hannah, go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh,
What do you think is number one?
I'm debating between two. I'm gonna say A New Hope.
Okay. Cory,
You said movie or series, right?
movie or series? Yeah.
Jedi.
No stream.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Okay. So the number one streaming title on May the 4th, 2025 was Andor.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was the other one I was gonna say. I was gonna
Makes
say A New
sense.
Hope or Andor. That was the other
Do
one.
you mean on May the 4th or like?
Because it was like
year.
this one came
No,
out. right?
on May the 4th. What people were watching on May the
Yeah.
4th.
I was gonna say Andor.
I mean, I
A
love
New Hope was
Andor.
number two. A New Hope was number two.
Okay.
Top two.
So why this is relevant, I'll go down the list. Number 3 was The Phantom Menace. Number 4 was Empire. Number 5 was Revenge of the Sith. 6 was Attack of the Clones. 7 was Return of the Jedi. 8 was Rogue One. 9 was Tales of the Underworld. And 10 was The Clone Wars.
Oh wow, times have changed.
So
That is
what
bizarre.
didn't I say?
I mean, hardly any shows.
You didn't say
No sequels.
No
No
sequels.
sequels.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, I mean,
No sequels. That was what the article was about. So so I kind of wanted to pose it to you, like, and Cory, I'll go to you first. Like,
man, I want
is that saying something? What's with no one wanting to stream the sequel trilogy?
Oh man, I don't know how real I want to get.
Here's the problem.
Yeah, here's the deal. Scene one.
Unleash
actually.
your anger.
Like, is that actually telling us something?
It's 100% accurate. I think that makes complete sense. I'm actually surprised so many shows were so far up. Like I figured, my brain honestly, I was like Empire or Jedi is going to be number one. That's the ones you put on, right? Like Andor, great show. And we had our Andor bit there for a while. I was like, about Andor? Are you kidding me, dude? Like, what is he gonna do? Is he counting his papers? Like,
Yes.
paper cut. Dang! Like, it was amazing. So I'm very wrong on that. But I'm just surprised so many shows. I guess it just I would think it would represent the generation. A lot of the people that are streaming and watching this are younger, and maybe they're more in tune with some of the shows, and they've gone back. Oh, those movies are old, but that kind of is counterintuitive because it would seem like they would also have grown up on the sequels more. So maybe that says even worse about the sequels is that even the younger generation are not even liking them, and they're streaming these shows that they think are better. My take on the sequels. I mean, obviously the ones like with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor and those like those for me, the people that grew up on the original trilogy, a lot of them probably didn't like them either, right? I mean, but I look back on those fondly, and actually as I got older, I think I liked them even better. And then you get a little older and you realize just how horrible some of those people were treated, because like the actors in that were treated because they hated him so much. But I felt a victim to, I mean, all the newest ones. I mean, I was first very excited to see new Star Wars back, but it was like disappointing. It was like, I wanted to see this. It's like, since when did fan service become a bad thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me fan service. Like, do it. And it's just, some of it seemed lazy. Like, you made the joke earlier about the Emperor coming back. They could have done so much better, I feel like. And I don't know. I guess there was a lot going on within, I think, behind the scenes there, the business wise, that had probably something to do with that. But that doesn't surprise me that the sequels aren't in there. No, I guess the short answer is no. That doesn't surprise. It does surprise me that a lot of shows were, though. And what was the top 3 again? Well,
it was Andor, A New Hope, and Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace is wild to me. That's one of the.
I think Phantom Menace has got a lot more popular in the last few years. I mean, it definitely has.
Casey remembers it. We were collecting freaking Coke cans and magazine clippings and of just like Darth Maul, and like that was all, and that was our first chance to be able to buy toys that could one day get, because our uncle had these old toys, man, and they were precious, and he was like observed us playing with them because they were so, and he had the Darth Vader, so it was cool to be able to get that and experience that for myself. I still have them,
yes.
But Phantom Menace, that's wild to me. That's great. I think it's great. I just would never have guessed that.
Yeah. What do you think about this list, Case?
I'm surprised that there aren't more shows on there. I'm surprised that it's mostly the films, honestly. I'm glad it's mostly the films. But the sequel trilogy, no, I think Cory's hitting on it. And I'm watching a little bit of the ILM documentary series where like they think that season 2 of it goes into more of like the 90s era of ILM, but they talk about, and I've read this before as well, it's, growing up with the prequels, the culture was everyone hates it, and even though I loved it as a kid, I still grew up thinking like, I hate episode 2 because it's a love story or whatever. It's like I just kind of fell into that mindset growing up, and then later, like in middle school and then high school, obviously falling in love with everything. Thankfully, everyone else is also, now that it's like generally respected. I think that is the trend, right? I think Cory said it, and I think that I've seen Lucas mention where there's a lot of people that grew up with the originals that also didn't like it. At least certain characters, like I think a lot of people hated, from what I've heard him say, a lot of people either hated Chewbacca or they hated C-3PO or they hated the Ewoks, and then clearly came around to it. My generation, the people from the original trilogy era hated the prequels. Our generation is kind of love-hate a little bit, but now I feel like we're all kind of come back to it, thankfully. So I think that's happening again. I think just people that are like these, I teach at the high school, so I see these Gen Z kids that grew up, they would have been children, they would have been kids with the sequel trilogy. They don't talk about it. They don't talk about Star Wars in general, which is kind of sad, but
right.
I'm dealing with that, but it's my cross to bear. So they don't really talk about the sequels at all. I don't think they really care for them. They do talk about the originals, and they may not have seen, they talk about the prequels, they may not have seen the originals. So it is such a weird, like, everything's coming full circle in a way, and it's just history's repeating itself, it seems like. So I'm not surprised the sequels are not on that list, but I think that will come back. I think, give it 20 years, and I think everyone's gonna just love the heck out of it. And I'm generally a fan of them. Certainly have issues with it, but I'm generally a fan of them. But having said that, I don't think I've seen them in a long time. Like whenever we're popping them on, especially with my kids, we're popping them on. We're doing the prequels, or now with my oldest, we're doing the originals, and getting them introduced to Clone Wars as well. So it's just it's an interesting trend that I think
Yeah.
just tends to repeat itself.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised like some of the shows that had come out, like you said, around that time. I mean, even if Alkali, I can't remember. I think it was maybe around that time or right after, but maybe that's why I wasn't on there. But you know, Ahsoka had just come out, Skeleton Crew had just come out, Obi-Wan had been out. I don't know. It's just I guess people maybe watch those, and I don't know, Cody. What is there? Is there anything you would have put on this list that isn't on this list?
Is Mandalorian on that list?
It's not.
Not in the top 10. That surprises me because honestly, when you think through like everything that's on it, even with the recency, I mean, obviously Andor, huge success, writing is incredible, but Mandalorian does feel a little bit more like George's Star Wars, so to speak, right? Like Ahsoka kind of had that vibe too, right? The intro kind of feels like a mesh between Phantom Menace and A New Hope. But yeah, I mean, Mandalorian, that's maybe one that I would have thought would have been on the list, one that I would put on the list. Yeah, I mean, it's good to know that a lot of the original trilogy is on there. Also surprised by the Phantom Menace. But I grew up with the Phantom Menace. You know, like when I went and saw it in theaters, I was like the same age as Anakin. So I just, you know, it was perfect timing for me. And so I think seeing where some of us are, you know, there's a Star Wars for every generation, right? So seeing where the prequels are now, you've got people that look back on it maybe a little more fondly or with nostalgia. And like Casey even kind of alluded to, we're not there yet for the sequels. I think they need more time. And that's probably why I think they've not been able to crack what they might do post episode 9. Just because it hasn't been enough time for maybe what the fans need and for what the story might need. You think of the time in between a lot of these Skywalker saga films,
right?
And it's the longing to get back to the galaxy far, far away and to do it in a theater. Building that anticipation, I think, really is a big part of Star Wars, whether it was by design or not. Probably wasn't by design in you know, once the prequel trilogy ended. But I think that fervor is what made the excitement when we were at the Star Wars celebrations, you know, more recently since the Disney buyout, just made it that much more fun.
Yeah, and I know your favorite series, Hannah, is The Mandalorian. So I know that's weird that this isn't on this list.
That Mandalorian season 1 is my favorite season, but Andor is my favorite series.
Oh yeah, true. But I am surprised Mandalorian is not on here either. But I don't know, Hannah, is there anything else on here that's not on here that you would have put on here?
All right, first off, I work for the brand. I don't speak for the... These opinions are mine.
They're behind you.
Own.
There you go.
I
Safe.
sort of not surprised that the sequels are not on there. And I think, as I've said, maybe there just isn't enough time. I mean, Empire Strikes Back wasn't everybody's favorite until years later. So maybe it just needs more time. But I also think the reason why I would actually say I don't think they need time, and I'm not sure they'll ever make the list, is because of story. There isn't a united story over those 3 movies. There isn't. And it's unfortunately crystal clear, especially when you compare it to the original trilogy and you compare it to prequels. At least I know people, and growing up, I heard a lot of hate against the prequels, but personally, I loved them. I loved the prequels. I loved Jar Jar Binks. I couldn't understand why everybody was hating on Jar Jar. I loved Jar Jar. In fact, I wanted more Jar Jar in the other 2 movies and didn't get it and was upset. Also, I had a crush on Hayden Christensen as Anakin, so you know, there you go. But at least there was a through line of a story.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
You don't have that in the sequels. Story, you know, that's one of our oldest forms of communication. That's something everybody can identify with. So I think that's one thing that would support the reason why the sequels are not on that list. I would have been more surprised if the numbers that you pulled were from today and Mandalorian wasn't on there, especially with the anticipation of Mandalorian and Grogu coming up. But about a year ago, I think there was... I'm not surprised about Andor, and I promise I'm not getting political when I say this. There's a lot going on in our country that I feel like a lot of people wanted to watch Andor to help kind of purge some emotions that, based on their point of view of what was going on. But otherwise, Obi-Wan wasn't on there either, right? Obi-Wan or Ahsoka? Yeah, so those two also kind of surprised me a bit. Mandalorian definitely surprised me, but I'm not surprised about Andor, and I'm not surprised about A New Hope. And I'm not surprised about the sequels not being on that list either. But I am surprised about Tales of the Underworld.
Yes.
Being so high.
That was a cool one.
That one surprised me.
I was trying to think of that. I was about to say Visions, but because I was trying to think of what was the most recent thing.
Well, I actually think Underworld actually debuted on May the 4th last year.
Oh, that would explain it.
I think that's
it's
why.
inflated.
Cheated.
Yeah,
it's inflated. Look, I think
number 11?
Yeah, I don't see number 11. I really think, obviously doing this show throughout the years when the sequel trilogy came out, and I was older than you guys when the prequels came out. So I know there wasn't social media back then, but just in the group of friends that I had that were Star Wars fans, there was a lot of mixed feelings about the prequels. And to be honest, I really didn't feel like the appreciation happened for them until the Clone Wars started airing. And then a lot of people started bridging the gaps and understanding the stories, and was like, wow, this actually changes my perspective of these films. And going into the sequel trilogy, I think you all could agree with this now because you guys were older when the sequels came out, was nothing hit the fan base quite like anything that happened when The Last Jedi came out. Like, that really split the fan base in two. It truly did. Like, I remember even walking out thinking, I don't even know how I feel about this film. Like, I think I liked it, but then there was, then I started thinking about it, and it's like, I don't know. And then Rise was kind of the same way. Like, I was so pumped for Rise of Skywalker, and then watched it and was like, God, I really love J.J. Abrams, but man, something was off about that. But either way, I'm, like Casey said, like, I like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and there's always something in Star Wars that I'm going to love about it. And there's definitely things about those films that I really like and appreciate. But right now, if you were to tell me, watch, pop any of the movies in order and watch them, I would probably put the sequels last. I would mix probably between the prequel, the original trilogy and the prequels. I've always loved the Phantom Menace. I've always been a big Phantom Menace fan. That was the first, that was my first experience with Star Wars in the theaters I can really remember. I mean, I went to Return of the Jedi, but I don't really remember it. But that was like I camped out for 2 days before I saw the Phantom Menace, because back then it was like you had to see it at midnight. Mm-hmm. There was no the night before, a Thursday night. Now at 6:00 you can watch an opening movie. No, it was midnight, and I remember we camped out, and a guy in front of us ran 100 feet extension cord somewhere and found a plug and was able to plug a TV in, and we were watching the VHSs of the original trilogy like all day on repeat. And God, when we went in there, there was no assigned seatings. You just went in and found a seat, and we were last in that theater, so we had to sit in the very front row. So I'm like reading the crawl like this, I mean, but I will never forget that experience. I mean, Phantom Menace, and I saw Phantom Menace 4 times that day. 4 times that day. You were able to buy tickets for that whole day. So I did the midnight. We went home and slept. I think we did like 11 o'clock showing, like a 3 o'clock showing, and then that night we went back. So, and then I think all of you have heard this story before. You know, like whatever 6 months before then, when the trailer came out, like I drove up to Northern Kentucky because Lexington didn't have it, to buy a ticket to meet Joe Black just because they had the trailer for the Phantom Menace playing.
Great movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie, but you know what? I didn't stay and watch it because all I watched was the trailer and then I left.
Yeah.
That was the feeling of Star Wars back then because it had been 16 years since, you know, it had hit the theaters. So that kind of, you know, anticipation, I don't know if we have that with this generation coming up at all. I don't know so that's kind of one of my questions I want to pose to each of you too is like, where is Star Wars right now with this next generation? Casey, you would probably know this the best because obviously you're a teacher at a high school and you're teaching media. So, you know, what's I don't know. You know, I see it I can see my daughter, but that's because of me. Like she's a fan because I'm a fan. I don't think she would maybe not be a fan if I wasn't a fan. So I wonder going forward with Star Wars, you know, and obviously there's a concerted effort now, and Hannah may know this best because she works for them, but it's like, there's a concerted effort now to really hone in on the quality, not so much the quantity of Star Wars, right? They're not really going to be putting out as much shows or as much movies. I mean, it seems like, as of right now, we're getting one every year. We're getting Grogu this year, and we're getting Starfighter next year. Maybe we'll get one in 2028. Who knows? We haven't heard yet, but they're really focusing on the quality of stuff. So, but I don't know how much. It's like how much of our kids, or even the generation right now that's maybe in high school, college, how much are they actually? How many of them are actually Star Wars fans? I don't. You know, do we see the fan base still growing as it did when I was a kid, when you guys were a kid? Case, what do you think?
I don't see. I mean, the deaf kids are definitely aware of it, and they've seen some of it. There's a lot. I've been surprised by how many kids have not seen any Star Wars, and that's been very shocking. Mm-hmm. But there's still like a general sense of it, and there's certainly a handful of kids that I can pick out that have probably seen them all, and they're good fans. I don't know of anybody that's into like the deeper level, like if they play the games or if they read the books or read the comics. I don't see that. I don't see anybody talking about that or, you know, have a book out or anything like that. But again, like, you know, we're like, just like today, May the 4th, like I was playing the movies, and like I just kind of opened it up, and one of the requests was for Phantom Menace. So I was like, okay, cool. So I just started playing that, so again, I think there's a general sense of, man, I don't know if I would say fandom. You know, I would just say like they like it and they are aware, they've seen it, but I do not see any sort of fanatic culture of Star Wars right now in the high school that I teach at. And you know, I think that's a bigger for different podcasts, like just the sense of kids these days, their connection with films and their just connection with fandom in general. You know, like I said, like I thought there'd be more shows on that list you read, because I feel like kids are more attached to shows than they are films. And maybe that talks about the quality of Star Wars shows and the quality of the movies, right? So when they do Star Wars, they do the movies, not the shows. So it's such an interesting generation of just media consumers. I think that they just see it and they view it and they consume it in a completely different way than we all do. Not a bad way necessarily. It's just a way that they definitely need to think about, you know, like you've been talking about, like how to move forward with Star Wars with this kind of new generation.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting, bittersweet kind of experience teaching these guys.
Now, Cody, you know, you've got young kids now too, and are you kind of introducing them to it, or are you naturally letting them kind of learn it, and how do you see this going with that generation of youngsters?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going out of my way to put it in front of them because I want to share the things that I love with them. Because what a great joy as a parent to be able to do that. The nice thing is that they both, they seem to enjoy bits and pieces. Now it's interesting because I remember years ago I would have conversations with Casey. I think when my oldest, who's 6 now, was really young, and saying, "Man, they just don't have anything for the younger than Clone Wars sort of audience,
Preschool age, kind of.
preschool age." We talked about, and so
Yeah.
they've got Young Jedi Adventures now. The kids
Yes.
love Young Jedi Adventures, which is great. They watch that from time to time, but there's, like Casey's saying, there's a lot they have up against it, right? You've got things like Spidey and all these other things on Disney Plus. I mean, there's a lot of things vying for their attention. And for a while, I obviously love all the toys, Legos, things like that. Collect them still to this day, but for a while the shelves were really bare, in the Star Wars toy aisle. So kind of had to go out of my way to introduce the kids to that. But now I think it's being put back in front of them a little bit because of Mandalorian and Grogu. You just see a lot more of it. I got my son into building some Lego sets, so now he can build some of these sets by himself. So we've done the Luke's X-Wing, the Smart Brick, one of those newer ones, which is super fun. And then the other day, I just took him to let him pick out any of the Star Wars Legos, and he picked out a U-Wing. Oddly enough, it was the U-Wing version from Andor. He just thought the ship looked cool. He won't see Andor for years, but so
True.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting. There's so many different entry points, I think, now at their age, and it does bring up a whole, where do you start, a kid with Star Wars. A lot of times, for me, I grew up watching the original trilogy on VHS. I think I wore out my Return of the Jedi tape just because I kept playing it over and over. I kept falling asleep at the part where Yoda goes to sleep and then just disappears with the Force. It's kind of an odd
all
cycle.
those questions.
Yeah,
How
maybe explains a little bit of why I am the way I am today. But no, I mean, I think I started my son watching Clone Wars a little bit. I tried Rebels first because I really like Rebels, and I thought it may be a little bit more age appropriate for him. And he watched 1 or 2 episodes, but just wasn't really connecting with it. But then we watched the Clone Wars movie, and he really liked that. So it's just interesting. It's I always envisioned that I would start them with A New Hope and kind of go through the old school way of watching it. But now, because there's these entry points, I mean, they watch Young Jedi Adventures, so they get it through the High Republic, and they get the idea of what it means to be a Jedi. But then they also see Yoda, and so now introducing them to the Clone Wars and stuff. So I do feel like there's a really good avenue to get into the prequel trilogy for younger kids now that maybe just wasn't always there.
Yeah. And I think that is a good point. And I was going to kind of say that to you, Hannah, because I think the content that we are getting, I actually do feel like, besides, I'm glad they made Young Jedi Adventures, because I think a lot of the content they have been making is very much for an older audience. I mean, Andor, like you said, I was very hesitant to show Sam, my 16-year-old Andor, because there's some very, grown up stuff in that. And I think, it's pushing it a little bit with I mean, did you know somebody was keeping count of Maul's kills over the first 4 episodes? I think it was the first 4 episodes he had killed 71 people. So
Oh my
it's a
my god.
last 2 episodes, I even had a moment going, oh,
yeah.
okay.
So Hannah, do you think that is it the content itself? How are we going to get young people? How is Disney going to get young people more into Star Wars and become lifelong fans?
So because of my unique position, what I can say is, based on just being in the parks, it's it's through their parents. It's through their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their older siblings. Because you see these kids dressed up as these characters, and then they meet Rey, they meet Chewie. Even one 6-year-old, I think he was 6 years old. I saw him turn the corner, and he went, like he just nuts, because his dad went nuts. He saw his dad go nuts for the Millennium Falcon, so he went nuts for the Millennium. So based on what I'm seeing in the parks, because I have a little Furby, but I don't have kids of my own, human kids. So it's through their parents, it's through their cousins, their older siblings, whomever that's in their lives that are into Star Wars is getting them into it and getting them excited, because they don't fully, they're too young to kind of comprehend the story and the values of Star Wars and what it might mean for certain people. But for them, because they see other people excited about it, they're excited about it. So I personally think that's the biggest influence out there.
That's very true. That's very true. Which I think, Cory, I think you've kind of maybe you've kind of failed as a father, since your daughter's not really into it that much. No.
Yes, I have.
That's
true. She's not.
No one's ever really
no.
gone. Okay. No one's ever really gone.
That's right.
Never too late.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. No. But what do you? Yeah. So where are you at with this generation? And I mean, how are you feeling? Because we obviously talk about Star Wars a lot together, but and I think you've seen obviously my daughter, how she's into it and she's drawing it, and she obviously wants to go work for Disney at some point, but
which is awesome.
I don't know, where are you thinking this as far as the quality of the content and how much that maybe influences what the kids are getting into? Because I think the kids, I just don't know if, like, when they're looking for content to watch, I don't know if science fiction is really the first thing they think of. I think right now it's more like some thriller or some mystery thing or some, I don't know. There's so much, guys. You guys know there's so much out there now. When, as you guys were young, and obviously when I was young, it's even less. But it's like hard to find stuff unless you went to the video store and like rented it. Now you're just watching TikToks and watching YouTube, and it's like it's so hard to get Star Wars in front of people. I think. I don't know, Cory. You think the same?
I think you're hitting something there. I mean, my thoughts earlier, just throughout your all's conversation, was, I mean, yeah, there's a lot out there. I think social media has a hand in that,
Yes.
And I think each of you touched on that dilemma where, it was the anticipation. It was the getting with your buddies and waiting, because not all my buddies cared, but I had a couple buddies that were always like, hey, what are we doing? What's the plan? And it was that lack thereof that made it I don't know, so seductive. Like, it was just like, man, like you said, Dave, waiting in line, and there wasn't a lot out there. But like, you have TikTok, and you have, I mean, Avery's like, she's more like into, I would say, music. She did like a lot. She liked Moana and Kanto. And we would listen to that on repeat. We would go to Disney on Ice. I was on a trip with some of my buddies, and some of them have kids, and I actually have, out of my buddies, I have the oldest kid. They were like, "That's your kid?" Like, they heard her talking over the phone, and they were like, "What?" Like, she doesn't have that little baby voice anymore. It's an older. It's crazy. It is weird. But like, we were talking about Disney on Ice, and just like, she was crawling on me like a spider monkey, and just like loved every minute of it, and it was exciting. And as she just got older, there was like K-pop Demon Hunters now, or there's like other like Olivia Rodrigo, like, and I'm probably even like 3 years behind just saying that stuff. Like, I can't even keep up. So yeah, I would say social media, there's just so much out there you can flip through, watch YouTube videos, where like back in the day, YouTube it wasn't what it was now at all. And that started kind of when I was just kind of out doing like college things. I wasn't on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, it's got to be the intellect. It's got to be, I would say, social media for sure has a big impact on all that and all the. And I do like the direction they're going. And someone else mentioned this too, where I think Dave, it's quality, more than quantity. I think it really depends on the people, the cogs in the machine, letting Dave Filoni off the leash, letting him go into Sam Witwer and saying, "Hey man, all those things you've always wanted to do, all those years, guess what? Like we're doing all of them." It's putting the right people in the right slots, and I think they're doing that, and I think it shows, for sure. And maybe if that continues, because I think maybe even Marvel. I mean, maybe even Marvel had heard it a little bit, because Marvel had such a banger run there for a while, and there was no Star Wars, and it just was like, all right, it was, if anything, Avery was more into like those types of things, and that could have stole some fan base. It's just a little tumultuous there for a while for us, and it's the diehard fans that Hannah was saying earlier that are going to these parks. I mean, it's one thing to see the Millennium Falcon on screen, but like there it is. It's lifestyle, and it's right there, and it's incredible. And that could be the start for some of these kids is seeing that from an early age. And knowing that's there, and then them coming back home and going, I want to know more about this, but I want to know more about this. Oh wait, there's this video about this squishy, and then it's gone. So I don't know. I think it all ties in. Everything.
Yeah, and I think the as some of you may or may not know, I think the creation of Batu at the parks, I think it was a little behind, because the movies had already kind of come out, and then the park opened, but I think you can tell that is kind of starting to get dare I say, a little old now, and they are starting to make the transition to bring in these older characters back, because I think they know how popular Han, Leia, Luke, 3PO, are. And so I think we're going to see a major shift at the parks, especially with how much your generation or my generation are going to want to go and meet the ones we grew up with, and I think that's going to change a lot of what they do. And Filoni, I don't know if he had a hand in that or not, but I think like you said, Cory, his leadership going forward, we're going to really see how much of an impact the leader of Lucasfilm has, because a lot of people love her or hate her. They either blamed Kathleen Kennedy or they praised her for what we got out of Star Wars. And we'll see how much that changes over the next few years. With Filoni at the helm now, I'm excited because he's just a George Lucas clone in that role now. So
I think he's everything George Lucas was and wasn't. I mean, because George Lucas wasn't a lot of things, but he was a lot of things. I mean, I don't know how is the best way I could put it. And I think Filoni took what he knew was good and had all the missing pieces. I think that maybe because Lucas, I don't think he even really wanted to direct. Right? Was that did he not want to, he loved the story, or was it the other way around?
Who, Filoni?
No, Lucas.
Oh, Lucas. I think the prequels, he tried to find a director, but he never really found anybody, so he ended up doing it himself. But
because he only directed A New Hope originally. He had other directors for Empire and Return of the Jedi, which I think is I think maybe Hannah's point earlier is what made, you think about story and what the sequels lacked, and then what the prequels had was a consistent writer.
That's right.
And I think, that
was
doesn't
a great point.
get noticed a lot, is that the writing being more singular in its storytelling.
Yeah.
You can hire different directors to come in.
Sure.
But you need to have that story fleshed out on the front end.
Yeah.
And even like in traditional television, you might have producers or writers write different episodes, but at least all of you are on the same page with regards to where the stories go.
We're all in a room together around the table talking.
Yep,
And we've seen that. And some of the behind the scenes stuff, which I loved that they did, like brought all the directors out and talked. Like that just showed you how well they work together. And I think that's one of the best points of the night, to be honest with you, Hannah, is that it felt like it was like, what do we do now? Okay, what do we do now? Okay, what do we do now? It wasn't like, that's cool.
And now, of course, you have, especially with the sequels, you have like Colin Trevorrow's version out there now, so everybody can compare now what it would have been. And then you got details of what Lucas was thinking about doing. I mean, it's like it's really hurting the sequels more so than helping them, I think.
Look, I've said this before. You have a novel series. You had a novel series with a story laid out right there. It was literally right in front of you.
And they were good. They were popular.
They were great.
Yeah.
Jaina and Jason's story alone?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, as we kind of get down to the close here, I wanted to hit on a couple things. I do want to play because I did invite Martin Donison on here, who subs in for when Hannah can't make it and maybe Cory can't make it. I get Martin in here, and he does council sessions with me right now. So he couldn't make it in tonight, but he did send in a little like 2-minute audio clip that I want to play for everybody right now. So let me go ahead and play that right now.
Well, hello there. Inside the Force. All of the hosts that are part of this today. This is Cyber Ren. You know me from council sessions and joining Vizsla every once in a while, and also the Mandalore podcast. You know I had to be part of this. I wish I could be there in person. I wish I could be there to celebrate all the memories and the history and the stuff that you guys are talking about today, but, scheduling doesn't always work out. But I still wanted to be part of the celebration. I wanted to wish you guys a happy 500th episode because that is insane. 500 episodes. Even Yoda would be going, 500 episodes. Lots of podcasting you have done. Like, seriously, it's a lot. I can't believe, and I tell Vizsla this all the time, I can't believe that you can come up with a topic every single week to talk about because sometimes there's weeks, months go by without a single bit of Star Wars news. Yet, you guys come up with something to talk about, and you've been doing it for 500 episodes. It's insane. It's crazy. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm very happy for you guys, and I wish you all the best. I hope for 500 more. Are we going to do this until we're 75 years old, Vizsla? Like, I mean, is Star Wars going to last that long? I don't know. I sure hope so, because I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all the new friendships I've gotten out of this, being part of this special with you. And like I said, like what has come up, Inside the Force and the Mandalore podcast are like sister shows now. They go hand in hand. You can have one and listen to the other, and we both share ideas. We bounce ideas off each other without even knowing that we're talking to each other, and it just works. They're great companion podcasts to get your Star Wars content. And I love it. So, again, happy 500th, guys. I'll be talking to you soon. We'll get on a council session soon and keep this thing going. Talk to you later. CyberRen is out.
All right. That was Martin. Thanks, Martin, for sending that in. I really appreciate all your contributions to the show. And it's funny because I've been doing the Mandalore podcast with him on his show since the shows started coming out, Disney Plus. So that was 2019, I think it debuted when The Mandalorian did. So I've been knowing Martin for a while now, and he's always there, willing to jump on and help with the show. So we appreciate that, Martin. Yeah. Okay, so last thing I wanted to kind of, I did want to do one more roundtable with you guys, one more question for you guys. I want everybody to kind of know your tops things here, but one thing I did want to announce, that I don't know if this is that big of an announcement, but because it's really funny for me, but and some of you other ones, because you guys have worked on this, but I'm starting a venture of this new series, and I've been working on doing a little AI series because there's a lot of this Star Wars AI stuff that's been out there. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I've been working behind the scenes a little bit, working on this AI series with our friendly stormtroopers TK221 and TK212.
Yes.
So if anybody hasn't seen our fan films, they're on there. It's Rise of the Troopers and The Unknown Discovery. And
I haven't seen that in I gotta see that. I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah. No, I watched them like a couple months ago and I was like, I really want to do something with these guys. So I've been kind of working with on how to frame this. It's basically going to be the adventures of these guys kind of working different posts around the galaxy. And then just kind of talking and bantering and telling some jokes and stuff like that. So it's stuff like we would do. You remember, Cory, we were actually doing that a little back and forth on their Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
For a while. So that's kind of where I'm going to pick that up a little bit.
that.
So anyway, that's coming from 21 Productions,
I can't wait.
Inside the Force, whatever. All right, so one last thing I want, because I want everybody listening to kind of know everybody's favorites here a little bit. So I know this might be putting you on the spot, but we're going to go around, and I don't want to group it all together. So we're going to separate it, films and TV series. So think about your favorites, because Case, I'll go to you first. I sit you down. You need to watch one movie. What movie are you watching? Star Wars movie are you watching?
It probably will still be Empire. I think it would still be Empire. I have been like showing my kids a lot of all these movies now, and Empire is still, like we just watched the other day, it still sticks as like, it's such a different experience going from 4 to 5, and then just watching Empire is still like, it just hits so differently. So that would be it.
Okay, Empire. Okay, Cody, which one are you watching?
Return of the Jedi. Easy. I mean, it's what
really
Star Wars is all
no
about.
No question. Okay,
no question. Return of the Jedi. I mean, it kind of wraps up, the original trilogy, and it tells you everything you need to know about what Star Wars is about. It's about redemption. That's it.
Nice, Hannah.
If I'm trying Revenge of the Sith, but if I'm not, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, Revenge of the Sith or what? What? Empire?
But Revenge if I'm in the mood to cry. If not, Empire all the way.
Okay. Empire if you're not. Okay. Cody or Cory?
Jedi. I mean, it's easy. I'm with Cody for sure, dude. I mean, I don't know. Where are you? We're like,
Hey, easy.
It's like you're in different spots for me. So
You just hit me.
Man, oh man. Jedi, 100%. It's got all my favorite guys in it for a long time. The Emperor, Vader. I mean, it's the redemption, the whole 9 yards. It was dark, real dark. I like dark stuff, dark, moody, suspenseful, and it, just, friends, like he's just like, you're nothing, he's just up there and it's like, you think your friends are gonna say, and he's just, I love the bad guys, but I just loved just Luke's resolve. I mean, just his like, no, dude, I'm not doing it, and that just is such a, that just is one of my, stuck with me. Just that will to, I know what's right. You can tempt me all you want, but I'm doing the right thing. I mean, that's my jam.
Dave?
Yeah, look, hands down, Empire is my favorite movie. I mean, hands down, it's my favorite movie. I love it. Yoda's obviously still my favorite character. I got to say, again, Phantom Menace is still one of my favorites too, but I'm telling you right now, if I had to sit down and just watch one, I'm popping in what I think is probably the best Star Wars film, to be honest. The best, not my favorite, the best, which I think is Rogue One.
Ah, man, that's a good one.
I think it's Rogue One still.
That's a good one.
It's a good
And
one.
I remember, thinking, I remember seeing at Celebration the very first artwork for that film where, they had the Death Star sitting in the back of a planet and in the sky, and they had these soldiers, and I was thinking like this is going to be so raw and so real, and I don't know, it was just such a good movie. I mean, I was blown away watching that. And how it connected to A New Hope was very impressive. It didn't seem like it was made 30 years later, technology wise. Like they did a real good job lining it up. So it would be Rogue One
That Vader scene
for me.
dude.
All right, so
Dude, the hallway fight.
Probably
yes,
probably the best thing I've ever seen.
yes,
And I've watched my daughter. But seriously, it was. I think it was dead silent. Like it was. I mean, he just like
yes,
and just walking past and just slice. I mean, that's wild. It was just wild to see him finally let loose, like completely.
yes,
Yeah.
totally. All right, so we'll go back now. Cory, I'm sitting you down. You're watching just one of the series. Which one are you watching?
Can I say what everybody's thinking? I mean, it's clearly it's done now, so I can say Maul.
Maul.
That's just fresh in my mind. Maul so far. It's it's you just get so like my thoughts were it's gonna be like third episode and we'll finally see him, or like. Well, or maybe he'll finally ignite his lights. Like we'll see it. Like where is it? Like it has been Darth Maul the entire time, just straight killing it. Like it is like it has been awesome. But if I can't say Maul,
No, you can. You can.
okay, I can. Okay, I'll say Maul. I'll stick with Maul.
I wouldn't think any
All
other.
right, okay.
Anything else.
Good.
Hannah.
I'm a very mood person. If I'm in the mood for something dark, I'm gonna go with Andor. But if I'm in the mood for something, kind of lighthearted and all of that, I'm gonna go with Clone Wars. Go with class. Oldie but a goodie.
Interesting. Yes. I think I might be with you on that, Cody.
I gotta go Mando.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go Rebels, but Rando. Okay.
No, I mean, I do love Rebels, and I think Ahsoka is one of those ones that if we look like 10 years from now, maybe once we see Ahsoka season 2, maybe there's some of that love that kind of comes out of that. But I got to go Mando. I was there at Celebration when they showed the first footage. We were there in that panel, and, they didn't show a lot, and you just thought it's this, Mandalorian bounty hunter. Nobody knew about Baby Yoda. Grogu, that wasn't a thing. And then you get Grogu, you got the Force aspect, and then the culmination of season 2 of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's what we were all waiting for
That's
30
pretty good.
years. That's the Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker I remember from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's true. Case?
So sad to hear Hannah called Clone Wars as a oldie classic. Now it's reached that status. It is incredibly. Gosh, that should be my answer because it's so incredibly dense and just world building and expansive and just like it's now got its place of like that's such a cornerstone of Star Wars lore. But since Cody referenced Rebels earlier, because I haven't thought of Rebels in a long time. Like I've been seeing obviously the Mando trailers and seeing the characters pop in and all this, but at this point I would probably go watch Rebels again just because it's been a long time, and that also has a lot of very meaty Star Wars lore.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Especially towards the end, but it's. And then you're bringing in Maul, you're bringing in Ahsoka, you're bringing in Vader. Like it has all those other amazing connections that we didn't really know we needed, and yet we have it, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
Dave?
Ooh, yeah. Right off the bat, I would probably go. This is not my answer, but I would probably want to go Clone Wars. Because I love the Clone Wars, and I happen to just before Maul started, I happened to just pop in the last episode of season 7 of the Clone Wars, where she let Maul out, and Ahsoka. I mean, that. Oh my God, that episode alone is just incredible. It was so sad to see it come back and then end that way, but I love the Clone Wars, and I think my answer might be a little surprising to you all, but if I had to sit down and just pop in a series and watch it right now, it'd be Obi-Wan.
That was my honorable mention, dude. That was my honorable mention. That is wild.
I know Hannah hears me talk about it a lot now.
It's going to be Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and to be honest, here's the thing. Look, Ewan McGregor, one of my favorite actors and probably one of the best actors I think around. The fact that they got Hayden back was incredible, and I thought that whole thing was fine. But I'm telling you right now, what made that series for me was young Princess Leia.
Yeah, she was. Well, yeah.
I did not know that she was going to be that big of a factor into that series. And that scene at the end of the last episode between her and, I mean, I'm telling you, that like brings me to tears today. And it is so emotional, and it really, again, puts that perspective into A New Hope when she's going after him. I mean, it's like, it was so good. I mean, you can argue whether or not the whole series was at, peak Star Wars or not. But for me, just Ewan and Hayden together again, and then young Leia, she nailed it out of the park. And I think, I don't know, I love watching that series. I've watched it several times already, and I love watching that series. So
dude, that's wild, because that was my I was gonna be like, can I get our mention? Obi-Wan?
So if you didn't do Maul, so if you couldn't do Maul, you would have done Obi-Wan?
Yes, Obi-Wan. I mean, you got to see awesome Vader, and like just to real quick piggyback off that. I mean, you got to understand the fear Vader brings. You know, like you've got to like see how to. I think one of the only other great times that I saw that was in what was the Cal Kestis the video game,
Jedi Fallen Order.
When she's standing there talking, and like her face, you just see it. Oh God! And he behind her comes up, and it's just pure fear. Like that. Like I love that. That was definitely, yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Look, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on here. This has been a treat. This has been again something I was hoping for. This is something that I didn't think would come together like this, but this has been fantastic. This is number 500. Who knows how many more we got left to do, but
500 more.
We'll see. Maybe my daughter can pick up later and start doing it.
Hey.
But Dave, I hope you understand how much we all appreciate you and all
You're here.
Thanks.
this podcast, keeping it going, and inviting us all into this, into this sacred space.
You're here.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Wow, you're welcome. And I again, yes. Cheers. Like,
Cheers.
Casey, I don't even have a drink.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You guys
okay.
have Tito's
Hey,
too?
Yeah.
It's empty. Get another one. Another.
Yeah, and I know what has
going on
made
up
this
there?
show is not only my love for Star Wars, but obviously all your love for Star Wars, and being willing to share and talk about it, and the fact that there's people listening is exciting too. So that's why it's been fun to do, and I can't wait to enjoy Celebration with all the Star Wars fans, and hopefully some of you guys will make it out there as well. And because I know Casey's talking about taking his son out there and try to get him to go, but I know it's like right at the beginning of spring break next year, Casey. So
Yeah, that'd be tough.
I know.
We'll see.
I know. Brooke, I'm telling Brooke to go, and she's like, I don't know, but I'm probably going to force her to skip school. So we'll see. But look, again, I can't thank you guys enough. I can't thank our listeners enough. I can't thank our patrons enough. This is just phenomenal that you guys were able to come on here and share. And, you know, obviously, any of you guys are welcome anytime to pop in and come back. Just let me know because, Hannah's phone might have died or something. So, but we'll close this out. Episode 500. Again, thanks, guys. I'll let any last words from you guys. Go ahead.
Just one last thank you, and just thinking through all the years of other shows that this has spawned, of this network that we've had, and it has been, it was an amazing journey, and I'm glad that the journey of the show is still going on, and you know, I think it was always. I think there's no, I mean, like Cory said jokingly, 500 more, but I mean, there's going to be no end to this world. And I think it's just an amazing, again, I reiterate the word community. I think it's just an amazing community with you all. And Dave, as our Nick Fury, has brought us all together. So thank you.
Yeah. Cody?
Yeah, I'll echo just, you know, thanks to you guys for, you know, I love being able to just talk Star Wars, because this is the thing is we do this even if we aren't recording. So it's
right.
like I love the fact that, you know, we jump on here and we record our just, you know, fun conversations we have, our speculation, you know, sharing our love for, you know, this universe, this galaxy far, far away. And yeah.
Hannah, we lost you for a second, but we're just any last words for you? I know you're gonna continue this thing with me.
It's been such a blast so far, and I can't wait to continue. Sorry, my internet cut out randomly, so
that's all right.
But yeah, it's been quite a journey with all of you, and I can't wait to continue it. And it's great that we get to share our love of Star Wars and just talk about it. I mean, that's awesome.
Yes. Cool.
Man, I hate to be the guy to say same thing they said, but seriously, Dave, man, my goodness gracious, not to get crazy personal, but like, when you entered Casey and I's life, like we were, I mean, in the thick of it, and we just was like, he likes us too. Like, and if anything, that helped everything. And we were always in film and loved that stuff. And so thank you for just continuing this. It's not easy stuff. I know this, and it's nothing short of amazing that we're at 500. But no, in terms of the show, there's so many great things that's come out of it. You mentioned, our movies that we have made. I mean, and the fact that you're continuing it is hilarious. I'd love to be some tiny part of writing something about that. Would be really cool.
I do need writers, yes.
But I remember Casey and I had wrote a scene or two in one, and remember we wrote, it was like at a cantina or something. We have to find that, 'cause
a third film, basically.
Oh yeah.
There was a third film.
Yeah, yes. That's right. Yeah, we had a couple scenes, I think, that we wrote though. I vaguely remember just dying laughing, and like what Cody said, like this is what we do. It's ingrained in our lives and our jokes, and I'm just lucky to have friends like you all to be able to just pop out little quips, one-liners, and everybody gets it, and it's fun. So let's keep going, man.
Yes. And even though she never listens to this, I do gotta thank my wife, Brooke.
Yes.
Even though I do this when she's asleep, so I'm not like eating into any family time, but So, but obviously she's a big supporter of all of us and all of you guys, and I'm I might get trying to get my daughter to maybe do this with me at some point too, and get in on this a little bit. So it'd be fun. She's a little shy. She's not really.
She's
okay putting her artwork out there, but she doesn't want to talk. But anyway, we might change that. So, nothing but love for all you guys. nothing but love for Star Wars, and I hope everybody had a fantastic Star Wars day. I hope everybody goes and sees The Mandalorian and Grogu so that, just Star Wars can make it back to the theaters regularly. And I just wish everybody that the Force will be with them. So may the Force be with you guys, and may the Force be with everybody watching and listening. And I thank you all for being with us. And hopefully, we got some new listeners or new followers here now, checking out episode 500. Go back and listen to everybody that's on this show right now. Again, Casey and I from the very first beginning. Cody's in there, Cory's in there, Hannah's obviously with me now. So it's like there's a lot of good content out there that we talked about. And one of the things, just hitting back at what one of the things Martin said on his line, when I played his voice thing, he's amazed how we can each week have something to talk about in Star Wars. Yeah. And that is a testament, I think, to our love and passion for it, because it is sometimes hard, because Hannah and I joke around all the time when we get on. Sometimes it's like, we're just going to talk about these couple of things, and next thing you know, it's an hour later. And I know Casey, we used to do that too. It's like we always filled the hour, no matter what we were, what was going on in Star Wars, no matter how dead it was out, out there in the world. But it was, there's always something to talk about in Star Wars, and I love doing it. So, all right, I'm done ranting. So thanks.
Snaps.
Yeah. Thanks again, everybody. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy as much Star Wars as you can. Go watch the finale of Maul, and we are going to continue our next few episodes getting ready for The Mandalorian and Grogu. So, all right, take care, everybody. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and may the Force be with you always.